What is going on, you guys? You guys have been asking for this video, and I said I was gonna deliver it a while ago, but dude, I can only stream 2 times a week, and throughout the week I really don't feel like editing something as deep as this because I've never done this before. This is gonna be my first guide ever on YouTube, just in general, ever in any game. Smash, MultiVersus, freaking Flash Party. This is the first guide I've ever done. We got season 2 Jake. Here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna go through every single move. We're gonna rate the moves 1 through 5 stars on how reliant Jake is on using those moves, and just how good those moves are in his kit in general, just to be used. If you guys do enjoy this guide and want to see more guides like this one, comment down below. If you guys want to see like a combo showcase, in-depth combos, different characters, whatever it may be sure to comment down below what you guys would like to see. Let's get right into this guide, man. The #1 Jake guide. Let's go, turn up. Let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna start off with the grounded attacks, move into aerial attacks, then grounded specials, aerial specials, some combos, and the rest will flow as suit. So let's get right into this. We're gonna start off with our grounded attacks. The first one being jab. Jake's jab. Obviously, you guys know MultiVersus is jab versus. Jake kind of fell short when it came to the jab game. His jab only does about 11 damage. Yep, 11 damage. And there's not much you could do out of jab, honestly. You can't do true combo jab chomp. It would be cool. It's a good mix-up though. But there's not much you could get out of this move. However, you can get a couple combo starters or just setups require, you know, a read after or bad DI from your opponent. Let's get right into them. So obviously we have our 1 2 3 full jab combo doing 11 damage. Does kill on certain stages, certain weights at around 120 would be my guess, like at the ledge. However, the main reason I use this move is if I ever hit a jab, I usually go for jab up tilt, and then it'll combo start, right? Or we could go for a little jab down tilt into down air on bad DI. On bad DI, they'll get ground bounced, which will confirm into honestly a chomp, a nair, a down air, even a side air, because ground bounce gives you that extra little bit of hit stun to where you can use moves that wouldn't normally combo, which is pretty cool. The main one I go for though is jab down tilt into down air. You get a chomp after, you get some follow-ups. It's pretty good. This move overall, in my opinion, would have to be 2 stars out of 5 when it comes to how pivotal it is in Jake's kit. Like jab, he doesn't have a good jab, like I said. It's just not good. You can use it, however, like it's very usable, but it's not like something you're gonna go for. It's not gonna beat out 90% of the cast jabs that are way faster. Look how slow this is. Oh my gosh, I've had a Joker roll in between my jab 1 2 and then jab me before I could even get the second one out. But again, Jake jab, one of the more underutilized moves for good reason. This character's ground game isn't the best, which makes sense because he has that amazing stare that we will get into later. But that's it for Jake's jab. Next up, we got neutral attack. Neutral attack is this mace swing that you do see coming out of Jake. It does armor break, as you can see by those purple effects coming out of the move. It will armor break, which is very good. This move does have a lot of knockback at higher percents, even though it is harder to hit your opponent with. It is still, you can still find your uses. Me personally, I use this move out of parries a lot to catch people off guard with the amount of knockback that it has, as well as the way that it sends is so funny. If you DI in on this move, you will nearly go straight up, and it kills so early, so people aren't going to be wanting to go off stage once they get hit, so they're gonna be holding in. You could net some early kills with this move. This move also has a property that'll hit behind his head, as you can see. Very good for catching people that are dodging through you if you have those dodge reads. And again, it'll probably send them straight up into, you know, potential up air or stretch conversion. I would give this move 1.5 stars out of 5 stars for utilization in this kit from like a game-to-game basis. You really don't need this move. However, it still has its uses. Like I said, out of parry, just to catch dodges, it's still a solid move and a solid call out move at that. Next up on our grounded attacks list, we have our up tilt, Jake up tilt, a move that if you charge it longer, the more distance and knockback the move will reach and hit for. Look at that, up tilt, beautiful move, hits on both sides. And the cool thing about this is, I believe at like 50% or so, you start getting that tipper extra knockback and damage. Regular damage 7%, tipper damage 9%, and then fully charged, oh my gosh, a nice 10%. Jake up tilt, really good for catching armored characters if you're using the armor break perk. Very good for catching opponents that like to dodge in out of disadvantage. You just charge that up, react to the dodge, let go accordingly. You can net some early kills, man. I'm telling you, you can net some early kills, especially let's say after you chomp them, they're at 2 weaken, 70%, get a full charge tipper up tilt. It's killing a good amount of the cast. This is going to be one of your go-to moves when it comes to just killing overall. Again, does a lot of damage, covers. People just have to respect this move for the most part. A downside to this move though is if you are charging and somebody wants to hit you on your arm, it is a hurt box. So just be aware whenever you're doing stuff with up tilt that your opponent can indeed hit your arm while it's extended. It makes sense. It sucks that it does do that because it's like, wow, that sucks, you know. It's a far hitting move, so it kind of makes sense in the end. It only balances it. You could get weird trades as well. I've seen like trades where I get sent nowhere, but I still get my knockback. Very good move. Again, you can get this out of jab. That'll be a really good combo starter to get your up air strings going, get some early kills. But overall, this move will probably have to be a 3.5 star out of 5-star move for Jake's kit. This is one of his more notable kill moves, honestly. But it's just very calculated, very telegraphed. If your opponent knows that they're up to a kill percent and they just react, they won't be getting hit by it. It's more of like a really read-based move for the most part. You know, reading an air dodge, stuff like that. That move is, it's good for reads. That's what I would mainly use it for if I were you guys. Definitely go for the reads. Spot dodge read, catch a spot dodge, air dodge in from the ledge, boom, tipper, and they're gone. Next up, we have a move that honestly got changed in a way that I don't like from the beta. It's still very usable, but beta down tilt was way better than current. However, current is still not too bad. You could get jab down tilt, like I was mentioning before, into down air strings on bad DI, higher percents, and then you get the chomp right after. Unfortunately, down air, it's very hard to hit out of down tilt, so it's mainly, again, a good move for setting up into potential reads, potential air dodge catches. Jab down tilt, catch them dodging in, up tilt. It's a good setup move. On ledge, you could get jab down tilt as well. A lot of people like to try to hold out of Jake's jab at the ledge because the third hit will miss more often than not because of like the gaps between the hits. So if you just hold away, they will get out. But if you could catch people jab down tilt at the ledge, catch them DI away, it'll do a lot of knockback if they're DIing into the blast zone, and could catch some early stocks for you guys. So again, very good at comboing into this down air. That's gonna be the main use in my opinion for this move. It's very good at setting up for those down airs, even airs, or chomps off that ground bounce, like I mentioned before when I was talking about the jab. I would rate this move a 3 out of 10. Every time you use jab, you're more than likely gonna go for up tilt or down tilt, and again, it sets up, if you get that set up, for a lot of damage out of that down air. You get the collateral damage, you get chomp after, which is a 2-stack weekend. There's a lot of setups you can do after you hit the down air. It's just about getting that hit, which sucks because that hitbox is so tiny on that skateboard. But out of jab is the most important use for down tilt, in my opinion. Next up, just like every other character in MultiVersus, this is not a new thing. This is new for the relaunch. However, we're in season 2. We just gotta go over it again. It did get buffed. We have our dash attack. We got the skibbity legs. Yep, I said it. Skibbity legs. That is what this move gives. Does 11% if you hit every single hit. Does a good amount of knockback. It's mostly gonna be a kill move. It's not gonna be too much of a combo starter or a combo finisher. Just a raw kill move if you catch your opponent. Maybe an armor if you have that armor break perk at higher percent. You catch them at the ledge, I promise you this move kills. Again, in my opinion, this move is a 1 out of 5 star move. There's not too much utilization except for just raw. It's just a raw move that'll make your opponent look a little bit goofy, because who gets hit by a move that looks like that? Next up, we're gonna get into our aerials. Jake does have a very strong aerial game. Obviously, we know he has that up air that now has a very, very good hitbox true combo into itself. We got that long reach and poking side air that can also kill very early off stage, down air, as well as neutral air, which got a recent change for the second hit, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. So let's get into Jake side air. Jake side air is still the same as the beta. You got those different angles you can hit. You could go up, straight up to the side, diagonal up, diagonal down, everywhere in between, as well as straight down for those spike kills off the wall. Jake side air is very good for combing off the ground, which will be one of your main combo starters that you'll be using just in general with this character. Jake side air does a lot of damage. Again, we have another tipper hitbox on this move, which is very generous, honestly. Very generous, which I can appreciate because of how precise you have to be with this move. The amount of times that I miss Jake side air is ridiculous. Like, look at this. Okay, that wasn't a good example. Look at that. Right above his head, missing. It almost looks like it goes through his head. I'm pretty sure it does. But this move is very precise. As you know, as much as people may disagree, it is a very precise move. The fact that you can't like shift the angle like super fast, kind of like Samurai Jack side special, you cannot do that. Makes it a lot harder to hit this move, and it makes it a lot more predictable and easy to parry in this version of the game. Before in the beta, people used to complain about this move a lot, but I personally feel like they were just bad at dodging. You would never I'm using Jake, right? But you would never see me lose to a Jake consistently. I might lose like 1 out of 10 sets to a Jake. However, Jake side air is going to be, again, your main combo tool when it comes to hitting those combo starters, especially diagonal side air down. It's probably my favorite utilization of this move because you get chomp, you get nair, you get up air. You get a lot of follow-ups off of this move. And it's just, it gotta be his overall most used move in his kit for sure. Definitely a 5 stars out of 5 for utilization in his kit. This move has very good knockback when it's going straight down, especially if you hit those tippers at early percent. You will net very, very early kills with this character. One thing I would say that's very underutilized is IAD side air. Everybody always expects the Jake to jump. They always expect the Jake to jump with the side air. And it becomes very, very predictable, very, very linear and easier to punish. So mixing up IAD side airs or just last second grounded side airs as you're falling down is very good to mix into your gameplay because it makes your side air game just way less predictable. And you could net a lot more hits off of that. People will try to dodge in. You could change the timings, etc. Again, Jake side air, 5 stars out of 5. Very, very good move to use in your toolkit. Next up, we have down air. Down air got a hit from the beta. However, this move still is pretty usable in certain situations, like I mentioned earlier, out of down tilt, maybe out of a parry. I'll post a clip right here of me hitting out of a parry, killing his fin so early.
Or just really lucky. Let's find out.
Down air again, you get those nice 1, 2, 3 hits into those chomps, which can net for early kill combos and setups that could catch your opponent lacking. Like I said, down tilt into that down air is probably your best friend for this move. I haven't done too much exploring outside of chomp because chomp is just, why would you not chomp, you know, out of down air? But you can get up air setups. You can also get nair setups. This move, however, is very hard to hit. As you saw before, this move hitbox is very precise. Very, very, very precise. They did make it a lot better in a couple patches ago, to where the air drift is hit as terrible as it used to be. 11 damage, very good. You get those bonuses off the ground. And if you do run that collateral damage perk, you will get 1 extra damage every time they hit the ground. So do with that information as you will. Jake's downer does do about 17 damage after the ignite. I only recently found out about the ignite still being on this move, which is so sick. I thought they took it out, I'm not gonna lie, but recently I did see a character be put into flames after the down air. 17 damage with the collateral perk. You'll probably get around 20 damage, similar to the beta. Still very usable in your combo game. However, just very different from the beta when it comes to how precise you actually have to be. You have to be way more precise with this move. A lot of follow-ups that you could get off of this. You could even cancel it off of reads. I would give this move an overall 2.5 stars. However, I might start utilizing this move more, figuring out that it does still put your opponent into the flames. That gives that extra burn damage. So I might try to find more ways to utilize this move just for probably like more damage, because dude, ignite is huge when it comes to this game. Just passive damage of any sort, especially if you get the downer and you're guaranteed another hit afterwards and they're still getting that chip damage while you're comboing them. Very good. Again, like I said, 2.5 stars. However, I need to use this move more. I need to find more utilization. Let me know if you guys find any better utilization than I expressed today in the comments down below, so I could get better. We could all get better. Let's keep it up. Next up, we have up air. This is probably one of my favorite moves on Jake. A lot of people don't understand how good this move is. The amount of hit stun that you have on Jake up air now compared to the beta is ridiculous. It's just so they could get that guaranteed second hit confirmed, but you could do some crazy stuff. You could do like up air to up special true combo and just string your opponent, especially if they're on burnouts. It's probably the easiest string you could do. I do a side air down, up air, up special, obviously when I have the charges, but it'll drag them up. On burnout, they can't dodge that last up air, so they just pop, dude. They pop. You could get chomp as well into those up air setups. That'll do really well at setting up for those early kills. Up air also stalls in the air still. The one downside again that they really did with this game when it comes to Jake, they made all of his stretching moves have a hurt box. So just be aware, if you are up airing like this through the ledge, your arm can get hit very easily. That's probably like the most consistent way I get hit out of up air, is trying to up air somebody that's on the ledge pressing a button, and my up air just trades with their hit, or I just completely lose out. So just be careful with that. Again, up air setups, you can even do up air to up air 1 at higher percent. Low percent, you get those up air to imagination while falling down. You can even true combo it out of your neutral air, which is really good. Look at that, beautiful. And last but not least, this move, if you rise, like do the perfect rising input, you go flying up, you will catch people off guard so many times because they don't think you're gonna fly up so fast. So be sure to utilize that as well. Like this is regular jump up air, and this is jumping up air. I recommend using this move like without rising from the ground. It's just so good and so fast, and it also puts you into that range where the second hit will 100% true combo if you get like that rising hit. A lot of people, they do that falling hit and they kind of fall down a little bit, but if you're rising with it and you get that hit, be sure to do some crazy combos. Up air, up special, up air, nair, up air. There's a lot of variations that you will see in a video in the future from myself. A Jake montage. We're gonna do a Jake montage. It's gonna be hype, and you will see a lot more combos, especially with that up air. I'm telling you guys, I love this move. It got to be a 5 out of 5 stars for me. I use this move so much in my games, and it's one of his best moves for netting early kills. I'm telling you guys, be sure to use up air. Use it. It'll catch air dodges, it'll force air dodge scenarios, continuously reset, get all their air dodges, and then get them on burnout, kill them at 0. So good, trust me. Last but not least, for our aerial attacks, we have our new neutral air. Yes, new. This move used to not work like this in the beta. Recently, we got a buff. We now have a special input on our neutral air. There's a lot of people that ask me, how do you do that second hit of neutral air now? But you just press nair into special. Neutral air into neutral special in the air. Very, very strong. Very good move at catching dodges, especially. They dodge the first hit, you hit him with the second hit. There's actually a lot of time as well for you to just change up these timings. Look how much time. Like, this is instant, and this is waiting. Oh my gosh. And there's like everything in between. Dude, crazy move. Does a crap ton of damage. I think it's like 14. It's 14. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of damage. Isn't the best out of true comboing from the first nair, but we'll talk about first nair first. First nair is very good for setting up combos. Very good for draining air dodges. Very good for covering space, catching air dodges, forcing air dodges. This move is going to be your bread and butter when it comes to approaching your opponent or covering space in general. Very fast move. It got to be as fast as aerial, I believe. A nice chest puff. This move sends in whatever direction the Jake is facing. So if I'm sending left, they will go left. If I'm facing right, they will go right. Same thing with the second hit of neutral special. Well, neutral air special. The special input of neutral air. It will send whichever direction I'm facing. Like, I could start off like that, but I could also turn it around. And it'll send the other way if I turn it around. So whichever way you're facing, be sure to remember that is where your opponent's going to get sent. There's times where I've neutral aired somebody into the wall with the second hit, get that wall knockback multiplier, kill extremely early because they're not expecting it, or even just falling off the ledge, hitting a neutral air on somebody trying to just hold the wall. They dodge that, boom, dead. It's such a good move. Neutral air 2, a lot of good utilization. You could get some mix-ups into other moves. Mainly chomp boost. That's probably my biggest utilization I've been using recently. However, neutral air 1, I would say your best friend is neutral air 1 into that stretch, or the up air stretch rather. Neutral air into up air. That's probably your best utilization that you'll find out of that. Very, very good. I love the fact that it sends in the direction you're looking. You could catch people's DI. You could switch up their DI. And you could just abuse the fact that you're in the brain, destroying them with reads on their dodges. Cool thing that I figured out a couple days in to the new patch. If you fall and land on the ground with neutral air and then do your second hit of the neutral air, the special input, you will technically be touching the ground, and you could loop it over and over again just to cover a lot of space, threaten your opponent if they like to, you know, burst into your range a lot. Very good move at just being able to pressure. It has a very generous hitbox and very generous knockback as well. On top of like having 2 stacks a weekend, this move will kill so early. I'm talking like 70, 80 at the ledge if you get that coverage off of it, like a dodge after you spit them. Neutral air is a 5-star out of 5-star in Jake the Dog's kit when it comes to how useful this move is. Again, I use this move all the time alongside the other 5-star moves. This move is so good, I promise you guys. Neutral air 2, a lot of people doubted it. I even doubted at the beginning. I was like, wow, what a weird change. But this move is crazy. The amount of times I've killed people sub 100 is ridiculous. Be sure to use this move. Special input is broken. Next up, we have our special attacks. First and foremost, probably the most utilized special that you're going to be using is that chomp. It's probably his most notable move. Sets up into 50-50s a lot of the time, especially off stage. If you've ever been chomp spit into the wall, chomped again, that's going to be that day one bread and butter that he's had since the release. It is not a true combo. You can DI. It's just about catching a insane read on your opponent's DI off the wall. This move does 2 stacks a weekend, and in both of the hits, the chomp and the spit, you're gonna get 12 damage. No matter the charge, 12 damage. There we go. 12 damage every time. You got 3 stacks a weekend max, so you're already doing 66% of the possible weekend off of one move, which is really strong. This move positions to off stage. Now in this version of the game, you can actually walk off the stage with your opponent, which is a huge change from the beta. The beta had these walls that would force your opponent to be instantly released out of your chomp, which I thought was super dumb. Every game has their character that could just SD with you while you're like grabbed. You know, Bowser has the Bowser side, Ganondorf has the Ganon side. There's more games that have those as well. Rushdown Revolt, you got those grab suicide kills. Jake also has it now. You got also Kirby. This is pretty much the Kirby. If you've ever played Smash, that is how it's going to be in Smash as well. The Kirby side. Very good. However, this does not work on bigger bodies. This does not work on Garnet, Superman, LeBron, Black Adam, Jason, and Iron Giant. 6 characters out of the 28 characters. So there's 22 that does work on, but it does not work on the big bodies. For some reason, I guess their hurt box is shifted a little bit high whenever they get released. It's very weird, very unfortunate, but they do live, so be aware of that. Do not use that unless your opponent is out of resources off stage and you're able to confirm that that self-destruct off stage with that chomp. Chomp in 2s is very good. You could set up to your teammate, especially just like my teammate, a Black Adam. We have a cool team composition where I chomp spit into their lightning and just continue to loop it over and over again. Be sure to use this move in doubles, especially with your teammate. You get early setups off stage that can set up into early kills. Very good move. 5 stars out of 5 stars, I would say, in Jake's kit. Very straightforward move, but still very good. We got House. House is a lot slower than the beta, way more contestable than the beta, for good reason. The beta House was broken. I'm not gonna lie, it was just disgustingly good. You could cancel out of it in the beta. There is a lot of end lag in this game now. However, it still is very good when it comes to reflecting projectiles, going through certain projectiles, breaking up team combos on your teammate, as well as destroying heavy projectiles for the most part. You got Jerry. Jerry dies instantly to a house. You got Bugs Bunny safe. It will go straight through your house. I want to say the same thing with the rocket, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check that if I were you. But heavy projectiles, it does go through. It does reflect projectiles. Reflects a lot more projectiles in the beta as well. Marvin used to not be able to reflect half of Marvin's stuff. Morty grenades, you can now reflect them. A lot more usage when it comes to reflecting projectiles, which is I think what they were going for, instead of a offensive reversal move at the top blast on like it used to be. If you hold down while mashing jump, every time you land on the ground, it is a new hitbox. So there's times where you could get a double hit just like so, and rack up a lot of damage. It also catches people rolling in a lot with all those like hitboxes. You could definitely catch people rolling in, catch people dodging in, catch somebody neutral dodging. It's very good for catching things that your opponent will not expect you to catch. I would rate this move a 3.5 out of 5. Still pretty good to use off stage as well. If your opponent's holding the wall, you could like slow it down with the different fast fall mechanics, and there'll just be a consistent hitbox going all the way down the wall. Very good. Still kills if it catches your opponent's DI, especially at the top. But again, remember, it is very easy to hit now. Like compared to the beta, you could hit Jake out of it very easily while falling. You will trade more often than not, I won't lie, but if you are precise enough, you will not trade with this move. Jake's house, super easy contest in my opinion, but again, still very utilized in this kit. Last but not least, everybody asks me about the horsey tech, the hidden horsey tech. Shout out to Icy Gober. He figured out how to do this horsey tech, told me not to leak it, but it's the guide. We kind of have to tell you guys how to play the character optimally. So let's start off with horsey. Regular horsey has a skid animation when you try to turn around. You can cancel the skid animation by jumping, by mashing jump and holding down. You could do cool things like reverse horsey like that. You could jump forward horsey. It still has that hitbox where it sends whichever way the horse is looking, just like Jake's neutral air. You could go backwards, you can mix people up. The main utilization when it comes to recovery though, you have a crazy stall in the air. It does eventually have a timeout, so you can't do it forever, but this move is very good for stalling in the air. Let's get into the tech. Like I said, we have reverse horsey jumping, we have the horsey regular horsey hopping. We have like the slow one, which is just you don't hold down. And then the tech that everybody has been asking for. How do I do this? How do I make my horse not have a skid animation anymore? Fully active. You could stop it on a dime and continue to go full speed afterwards. It is an insane tech. I'll show you guys exactly how to do that. First off, we gotta head over to our control settings. This only works if you do exactly what I'm saying. As soon as we scroll down, we will see that there are keybinds to do moves like right attack, up special, right special, down special, left special. You can already see I have those binded. For me, I have those binded as my left and right D-pad. For a lot of the Jake mains, they have it binded for their left and right on their C stick, their attack stick. I couldn't do that. I had to find a loophole. I think my loophole works way better for me. You do not have to bind it to C stick. You do not have to bind it to D-pad. You can bind it to any button you'd like, because if you press left special, the input, it'll do left horse. If you do right special, it'll do right horse. So no matter which one you do, it'll instantly do everything you need. All you have to do is hold that button down, and then you'll be able to walk left and right. Again, for me, I have it as my D-pads, but I told myself it wouldn't be comfortable for me to go from left stick to D-pad. I would have to run claw, and I'm not running claw grip. I'm not. That's just not comfortable for me, especially because I use my pointer finger for my triggers and my thumb for my stick. So it would just, I would have to completely shift my entire hand down to do claw. But what's really cool is I can bind stuff to paddles, and I have two paddles back here. I have a left special and a right special paddle that is binded to my D-pad. So all I have to do is press the back of my controller, and I will get that side special in whichever direction I like, and I could control it simultaneously with my left stick, like so. Be sure to find whatever's comfortable for you. This is very good, especially in 1v1s, for baiting out air dodges, for baiting out attacks, and then stopping your momentum into punishing them for what they did. You pretty much juke your opponent out with this. It's so good, so good. It's pretty much like a Finn charge attack where they're forced to do something or they get hit. So again, find the input that works best for you. For me, I have it as my paddles. For some Jakes, they have it as their C stick, their right stick, their attack stick, whatever you want to call it. They have it on their right stick. I've heard people have it on their bumpers as well, so, or the bumpers or triggers. So just do what's comfortable for you. Again, this is very good. It has a hitbox on the entirety of the way. Even behind him, it has a hitbox. Very good for tricking your opponent, mix up your opponent. In 1v1s, I would give this a 4 stars out of 5 stars for utilization in Jake's kit. It's very good. It's very recent, but it's insanely useful when it comes to catching your opponent, juking your opponent out, getting just that like that back-to-back damage. Just keep in mind, obviously you can hit horsey if you just hit it directly, so keep that in mind. But it's mainly used so you can get those mix-ups, get those attacks, get those dodge reads and baits, and do a lot of damage to your opponent. Last but not least, we have our up special. Up special in this game with the stretchy perk is very different than how it used to be. In this game now, stretch has 2 hitboxes. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Initial stretch, let go stretch, and you could combo it into itself. So let's say I go up air, initial stretch, let go stretch, up air, initial stretch, let go stretch. Insanely early kills you could get with that move. Insanely good when you're trying to catch people recovering. You could block them off with a wall of stretch. If people run into the stretch, they will get bounced away. It is the funniest thing. when you catch people like this, they jump into my legs at the bottom and they get spiked down without me even having to let go of the stretch. Super good move. Utilizing a lot of combos. You get up air, stretch. You could get nair, stretch, read into up air. There's so much utilization for this move. Be sure to use it. I would rate this move a 4.5 stars. It gets a little tricky when this move doesn't work as consistently, but it is still a very good move nonetheless. Killing insanely early off the top if you understand how to use the double hitbox that this move now has. My favorite thing now is stretching, and whichever angle I end up as on the stretch, I think it's off stage stretch. Yeah, it's in the air stretch. So whichever way I'm looking, it will send them, or whichever way I'm curved by the end, it will send them. So there's times where I've gone off stage, hit in air, stretched into the blast zone like this, and just killed that at insanely early percents. So be sure to utilize that new property of the move. It is very different in the beta, but it is still very good in its own right. I love this move. Again, 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. I would use this move again. So we figured out all of our moves. So now let's get into some bread and butters that you guys can use in your games to up your Jake the Dog game plan. So let's start off with the jab again for our bread and butters. We got jab, jab, down tilt. Again, you could get those down airs out of that if they get the ground bounce. You could get other stuff as well. You could get neutral attack. You could get chomp, like I mentioned, as well as potentially a side air or even just another roll jab, honestly. We also have jab, jab, up tilt, which will be probably your main combo starter that you're going to go for, because you get those up air strings out of it. You can net some early kills. Jab, jab, up tilt. They can, however, DI away, so just be ready to catch a DI. You get jab, jab, up tilt, freaking nair. Like there's so much you can do. It's not true, but it's all mixed. These are the mixed bread and butters that you're going to be looking for. Mainly just getting into those early combo kills, catching either dodges, catching them on burnout, catching them on bad DI, whatever it may be. You have to get these bread and butters down, or just being able to set up into positions that'll favor you in the long run. Let's get into my more favorite combo starters. It's gonna be the side air. Side air has a lot of utilization. You get side air, downward angle, into imagination pretty much off that ground bounce. It is such a good way to open your opponent up. You get chomp spit, which you could then get a 50-50 dodge reads off of those chomp spits up into the air with up air stretches, you name it. That's probably his best combo starter. You could also do downward angle side air into stuff like neutral air, into those up airs, into stretches. That's probably my favorite way to use this move, is those side airs into the up air, because the amount of setups that you have with this is just so good. Chomp as well is probably a more utilized one that you'll see from a lot of Jake players. Be sure to use this move to open up your opponents, get those combo starters, potentially early stocks like so, and just destroy your opponents. But again, those downward angled side airs are going to be your main opening for combos, because you just have so much time to just think about a hit that you just dreamed of. Any hit you've dreamed of hitting. You could even get freaking horse probably. You'll see it. Horse after downward freaking angle side air, dude. This character is going to be using that downward angle side air a lot when it comes to those bread and butters. Keep in mind, Jake is one of those characters that doesn't have too many true combos. He has a lot of bread and butter combo starters, but after that, it is a lot of read-based gaming and forcing your opponents out of resources. If you guys have ever watched me in tournament, you'll see that I drain my opponent's dodges before I ever get like an early kill, as well as off stage. That's where you're gonna get most of your kills with that side air. But just remember, this character is not going to be your freaking jab, jab, jab versus character. This is a skillful character. He does have a lot of knockback on the neutral attack too, that a lot of people complain about. But this character does take a lot of skill, in my opinion. There's a lot of read-based gameplay that goes on. A lot of understanding how many resources your opponent has. There's just a lot of thinking that goes on into this character. However, there are some Jakes that will just spam a chomp until they win the game, but don't be like them. Be good, use your kit, you don't have to use everything, but use more of your kit than Chomp, bro. Like there's more than Chomp, in my opinion. There's more than jab as well in this game, but unfortunately Jake doesn't have that jab. But nonetheless, hopefully you guys enjoyed the guide. This is my first guide, so be sure to critique me in the comments down below. I want to get better at this. I don't know how many more guides I'll throw out. Maybe one for banana guard, we might call it there, but we'll see. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, my boys.